So last night we were discussing the scene in Belgium.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you've been around the longest.
Mm-hmm.
And how would you summarize where it's coming from?
For me, it started all in Brussels. You had a club in it called the Vaudeville. And slowly there was one guy giving all time the parties, and those guys were playing always for him. But on the Wallys Groove World label, I just gave a chance on the Belgian artists to do the deep house and the housey things, because in Belgium the trance and the techno is much bigger than the deep house.
Well, I think you helped.
And
you helped.
that's my meaning also. That's my meaning.
Yeah.
To get Belgium back.
Yeah. It has pretty good standing for production in Europe, though. People like to party here, and they
that's
like
not a problem, I think.
Right? No.
It's also again new artists the last 2-3 years. Like on the Hyphen label, the Britt Johnson, and I have on Wallys Groove World the All Good Funk Alliance, and I'm Brian Kirkbride, also from that scene. It's they have more broken beats, very deep house spacing.
So what about you guys? You played for a long time, but what do you think? Is Belgium, the scene's getting better, or is it the same? Or
I think for me personally, when I started to go out in 1992 and 93, there was a bit more atmosphere in discotheques.
Yeah.
The people were more enthusiastic. It was a bit more special to them. But I think it's an evolution, because we are now so many years later, and the music is getting better, that's for sure, because we are just refining this musical style. But the people are getting used to it in a way, so they go out and they have a good time, but they are not really like flipping out on something, you know.
Right.
So for me, last weekend in Ghent, it was very special, because the people were like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
So that's what I think about it. And there are so many new records, and it keeps going on. So no problem. You can always build up some nice set, and people will like it.
Yeah. Is there something in particular that makes you flip out when you hear music? Like the mixing, or is it the tracks?
For me it's very important that you play not, I don't want to say commercial, but that you have a good choice of records. I like people who have good mixing skill, plus they know about the music. There are DJs who mix perfect, but their set is one line.
Right.
I hate that.
Yeah.
I like somebody who can move you into another world, like I would say it. And Koen always surprises me when he plays. It's not because I know him so well, because he's a good friend, but in a way he always brings new stuff that he's the first one to play. The other ones we wait, we don't dare to play just that track, or he's maybe the one who has it 6 months before we get to know it.
Right.
So that's always new, and that's what I like about it. And that's not, in Belgium it's Koen is somebody like this, but I mean, for me, like Joshua, I like him so much when he plays. He's always this deep kind of feeling, it gets to the heart and it's well mixed.
Yeah.
I don't like DJs who are there with a huge image and like playing just commercial things. That's not for me house music. House music is underground and you have to feel it here.
Yeah.
That's what I think about it.
I can explain it only for myself. For example, for me the feeling is how a DJ can move a crowd in a way and can bring people together, and how the DJ can get the people into the same vibration, that everybody has the same way of getting into the music, into the beats. That's for me the feeling when I'm dancing, and I see around me people that I don't know, but they're all on the same level of thought in a way, in a certain way, same level of thought of the music, and that's a good feeling when a DJ can produce that. that kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And I agree with Marius that I don't like DJs who DJ on one line. So a DJ has to have a way of building up and then going at a high point and then relax a little bit. Just it's and that's also the feeling, you know. When a DJ is playing like this, there's no feeling in it. It's just one line. But if a DJ can move to a certain height and you can see the crowd is going along with it, and suddenly all the people you don't know become your partners, your friends on the dance floor. That's really cool. That's the feeling for me. And if this happens when I go out on a night, then for me the DJ has done a good job. Even if it's not maybe my style sometimes, but if he can give this to me, then it's a good DJ for me, or it's a good night. Yeah.
The feeling you get, it's because the sounds that you hear, it's important that you hear it through a good sound system. You hear deep basses, you hear beats, and it makes you just move. You ask me about the feeling, why would people go, what do they feel, what do they experience? You experience a vibe that gets through your body, and it has a certain kind of rhythm that's like the rhythm of the heartbeat when you dance. That's told a million times already about the house music. This tempo is the same, like a person who is dancing. So that's the rhythm of his heartbeat. So you get just excited by this thing, and you start dancing, and you are happy because you get all kinds of atmospheres going through your head. And I agree. Maybe some people who like rock music wouldn't really understand this vibe, but maybe they will. If the set is good, they're open to it. Maybe they are going into another vibe, into another feeling.
Well, we talked a lot about Mayaku, but we still don't know very much about Wallys Groove World, which is a big label here in Belgium and all over the world. And it has a strange name, which many people don't know its origins.
Okay. Dus first I started a second-hand record shop called Wallys Groove World, and it comes all from a movie, a Chevy Chase movie, National Lampoons, that they go with the family to an amusement park, and you saw the? Yeah, you saw. Okay. And at the end they arrive at the Wallys World, and that's I have the name from here.
Wallys Groove World.
Yeah.
The reindeer, what's that?
But the reindeer, it's the Wally of the amusement park.
From Wallys World.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the label of the amusement park. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So it's
it
house
was
music for the Chevy Chase soundtrack, right?
Yeah, but it's just when I was younger, I liked this movie so much, and that inspired me to give it a name. It's like that. House music has always been like that. From the late 80s till now, it's still the same. But I think for the moment, also in Holland, the last 2 years, you see the people more sober and just drinking a little bit, and they go for the same thing, and you get the same atmosphere. And in the beginning you didn't have that, and I think that's a very good thing about it now. The rave scene, everybody is dancing on himself. Really, it's not like a community or something like that. And also the people just come to let them show themselves, and that I think it's a pity. And that's with the deep house scene in Belgium also. The parties, it's for 3, 4, maximum 500 people, and there you still have this community, and that's
cool.
That's cool about the deep house
go,
scene. But not the rave or the techno. It's just in themselves. They go. They want to have a beat and just have a good time, and that's the only thing.
You find I didn't find deep house for a while. First I heard breaks or drum and bass and trance, and I knew I liked electronic music after I'd heard a lot of bands in my life. And then I think if you really care about the music more than anything else, then you evolve into deep house.
It's maybe also where your roots come from. I don't know which
Yeah.
which artist you liked before,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
and like that you get more in that kind of style or that
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
style.
Or people they see on the posters like, this is a DJ from this label, and they have perhaps some CDs of that label, but they really don't know maybe the DJ's name. But then they say, it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be interesting.
Right.
Let's go to there,
Right.
and you really go for the music.
Yeah.
You want to hear what this label has to offer more,
Exactly.
or what this DJ is playing because he's a good producer maybe or something like that. I think that's what makes people go to clubs like that.
Yeah.
And the radio does a lot of good stuff, of course.
Right.
Certain specialized programs
Yeah.
who when say for example a DJ plays on a one night, that night he will play also on the national radio.
Right.
So people hear it and think, this is quite good. It's from this label, and from that it moves on. You go to the record store and you check out the label, or you check out the producer's name, and so.
But it's the same for Marius. He learned a lot about because of Liaison Dangereuse was on the radio, and he was like so excited about that music that he went for that music.
Yeah.
Yeah. You start digging into it. It's like I could have been. I was also interested in hip hop and in R&B and funk music. And in the beginning, I looked all the producers up and I bought their CDs and everything to check it out, how they made it, and it was interesting to me. But then, like I told you before, I got this click when I heard this program on the radio. It was for me the right feeling. I mean, this was the vibe that I wanted to have, what I was looking for.
Yeah.
So because my background is a bit soul and black music is about dance, so I found it back in house music because we use all these elements in it. And I'm not a fan of techno because I think that's more something for people who were into industrial also.
Right.
Also like they were more into heavy metal sounding sounds, and I'm more into warm sounds. That's maybe the difference.
But I know that all of you loved music before, way before that, and that you played the classical piano growing up as well.
Yeah.
And what was your like childhood experiences of music?
For me, it was the radio.
For me too.
Really?
Yeah, when I was 14 or 15, I was with my 2 tape decks recording little pieces of that program to each other with that program.
For me,
So you were
exactly.
making mixtapes on the radio?
From
as a
from the
teenager,
radio.
me too.
Yeah, it was like that. It was
But
like
I was
that.
really into the hip hop thing also.
Uh-huh.
I used to break dance a little bit, and listen to stuff like Herbie Hancock Rocket and Soul Sonic Force,
Right.
Planet Rock, all these things. Together with, of course, the radio. I mean, you're
Right.
young and you just do it with a tape deck. But I think it's funny that we three have the same thing go when we were young. We had the same thing, and it tells a bit about the love for music that we had already. I think.
Because
Yeah.
now we do
Exactly.
now the same thing
Exactly.
as well. So we started in the same way and we continue in the same way.
Yeah.
It's cool.
But it's a passion about the music.
Yeah, it's
It's
really
like that.
passion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys came with the first track, the Mayaku theme, and then what happened in between this track and the full-length album?
Well, the track went so well for us that Koenie said, come on, let's go at least 2 times a month in the studio, I mean, for a good session to make new tracks.
Like, it was always in the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Also, even when I had to play.
Always,
Just
we
go
took
to-
our agenda and we said, this date we go in the studio, and we did it all 3 together. And so we went on and we made new tracks. Because with Mayaku's team we felt this is something incredible, it's going good, it's going very well, so let's go on.
Okay. A friend of mine, he's working for Pioneer, and he gave me the DVD thing with the surround system. And, we started to sample a lot of things of the movies because you can take, because you have a surround system, you can only take the voices or the strings or the things, and then we started with the rest of it and the album.
We had the whole, Koenie always came with a whole DVD full of
Oh,
movie sounds.
DAT, yeah.
No, with the whole DAT tape full of sounds, and then we sit there for a couple of hours listening to, oh yeah, this is good. And then Marius behind the soundboard, okay, we take this out.
But we always take little pieces and
Yeah.
we change it so much you cannot hear from what it goes
Yeah.
anymore. You just make another sound.
So it's like Koenie likes a lot spacey things, so then he rented some cheap space movie or something, like with the doors would go like this.
Yeah.
And then just we sample a little part of it, and we add some of our own effects on it, so it's all in these tracks on the album, so you would not tell.
I think also in Pianos in the Mist, the first track, you can hear a lot of space sounds, you know.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah.
So distorted, small little things we took from hours of listening to DAT tape from Koenie. We found these things.
A lot of science fiction movies.
A lot of science fiction.
And actually the title itself, Pianos in the Mist, for me it's like a title of a movie or something. That's why the first track for me is very filmish, like a soundtrack. It begins with just the bass line, and it goes slowly on, and you really come into a whole new world. And maybe that's because we used a lot of movie sound in that certain track. It became so filmish. It's good. It's a good start for the album, I think.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah. We don't like to go into the studio and do always the same, because sometimes we have something that starts with a breakbeat loop or something, or even Silent Thoughts, it's slow, because we want to make something slow. We are not always in the mood to go like bam bam or something.
Right.
So
It depends of your of
the state
you're in
especially
that time, yeah.
at the time. So
Yeah, and it's also we also like to go into a certain style that we don't know or that we haven't done before, because it's an experience.
Right.
And for us three, I think we find it very important that we experiment and that we go always higher and higher in our music.
Right.
That we don't stay on a certain level, or that we don't use a certain formula. We have to. That's the interesting thing about music. You know, we begin with a clean paper, and at the end there's something on it. You know, and that's the interesting.
Because some groups I know, when they start to be a little bit more known, they start to use the same formula, always the same, and we really don't follow that.
How do you know when a track is finished?
if we are all looking at each other and we listen most of the time when we think it's finished, we put on the headphones, all of the three of us, and we close our eyes, and then we listen like the track is going on, and we say, when I hear something that strikes me, I open my eyes and I look at the two others, and they are like, not really, not. And I think, oh, that should be, it's nothing. And then if I see that the other two look as well, I know there's something wrong, we should change something. So that's a trick to know if it's ready or not.
Yeah, that's really funny.
Yeah.
Suddenly I hear something like the hi-hat is too loud, or the break wasn't cool, and then I open my eyes and I see Marius just at the same time, including at the same time we are looking at each other. And then we know that, oh yeah, no, this is not right. So we work on it.
But what we
that's
also
really
do
funny.
when we work, before I worked, I started always to listen again from the beginning, all the time. What we do now, we just work. After 1-2 minutes, we don't hear the first 2 minutes anymore. We go further and further, like that. You don't get bored directly with your thing, what you're doing. And that is important also.
Also, like you see the volcano, you always see the outside, and there always comes a lot of things from the volcano from the inside, the eruption, and sometimes, this thing, the other side of the volcano. I don't mean like when you walk behind the volcano, you see the other side. Maybe it's so simple, people will think, oh yeah, the other side of the volcano is like this. No, but for me it's like the inside of the earth, you know, if you could imagine that inside our earth there's this fireball who's always kicking energy, you know.
Right.
And where it comes out from the volcano. So for me the other side of the volcano is actually a little bit inside of the earth, you know. The energy that we all maybe feel in a certain way. That it's playing against the sun and making the sea go up and down and the wind blow. That's for me a little bit behind the other side of the volcano. It's not to say that our music is fire of the earth or something, but but I mean
I say it is.
Because I say somebody else has to say it. You
Yeah,
know?
I will say it.
So that's one of the tracks.
Open hi-hat.
Ik heb al een breakje gehad.
Ja. Zo.
Je zegt wel altijd goed. Je zegt zijn veel te hard.
Te hard, ja.
Met een aantal
Yeah, we
little
have to see-
pieces of it.
Yeah. See if it is in tune actually.
Okay.
Twee laatste.
Ja.
Twee eerste.
Ja, die twee eerste. Ja, die.
But in this tune,
Ja, probeer eens.
it's a bit creepy, don't you? It's outer space. But just this is funky and
Anders pakken ze in een andere toon.
I think this one, but then higher. Don't you think like
Ja, try that.
What?
So the memory, our outputs are all
How many-
all used. So I need to use the second sampler now.
This is what happens when musicians become engineers.
Thank God we have Marius.
Yes.
So I have to patch it from the one sampler output to the input of the other sampler because it's a different format. Okay, have to re-record it.
Maar ja, sounds fat. Yeah. Wow, that's quite a difference, huh?
From the one sample.
I resample it
Well,
from this sampler with the other sampler.
But it's not always good to use, eh? It's good for certain tracks.
What did it do? Like put a filter on it, or?
It makes it more
He has
dirty.
different
Oh, okay.
Like the old
Converters.
hip-hop beats and
Yeah,
things like
yeah.
that.
It gives a lot of power to it. Now go solo, eh? For 1 second.
Do you take all the beats?
There's also een beetje Springsteen in, hè? In die hi-hat, hè?
Ja.
Phase of zoiets.
Like it? Nice.